All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Indian Racing League. This is round 6 in COTA, and we are just about catching on to the final laps or the final runs of this qualifying session. As things stands, Redstone Derb with a 131-1 with a 500ths of an advantage over Abhishek, who's also about to start his hot lap. And Abhishek, let's see what he does. While Redstone Derb has started his final attempt of the session, he's back after a few races, Abhishek. So doesn't seem like he's rusty right now. He has provisional pole, but then the next best lap time is of Srivat's in P3 with a 31.5. So let's see Abhishek's what he does. Redstone meanwhile is down on his time, and Abhishek is up by 2.5 tenths. What? Okay, sorry. I'm so sorry. That's just him starting a lap, and the ticket flag has fallen. So let's see what everyone does. Baz, the championship leader, of course, he's in P5, and by the time his lap ends, we'll wait and watch what happens. VFX has just about started that. So let's go back to Redstone Dove, who is not improving on his lap time so far. So his positional pole might be in jeopardy if Abhishek can gain back that advantage, and it seems like he has in the first sector, up by almost 900ths of a second. Redstone has invalidated his lap, so this is not going to count, and he is coming in at the end. Let's see what Abhishek does. He's now just through that major overtaking zone and has one more sector to go, as is up by 1.5 tenths. So this is turning out to be a very good lap. Baz is up as well. So let's see what Baz does first, because he will be one of the faster cars to finish the lap time first, as our championship leader comes across the line for his final run of the session, and he remains P5. That was an improvement, but he remains P5. What about Abhishek? One more corner to go for the Mercedes. This should be pole if he has maintained his advantage, and it is not. He has lost time. Abhishek in the final sector was looking quite good. Let's see if VFX can gain a position. He does not either. So a lot of improvements in time, but not in position. A bit anticlimactic, and I sincerely apologize for the delay in the start of the stream. But yeah, as things stand, it looked like Abhishek might be on course to take pole, but maybe didn't have the best of the final sectors. So it's restaurant dub. Normalcy resumes for the McLaren driver. He's on pole, joined by his good friend Abhishek. Srivas, what a lap and a surprise P3, but it should not really be a surprise for people who are following us this season so far. Srivas, a very good result in P3. Jishnu in P4 and Baz in P5. Jishnu is, of course, is a reserve driver, and Noble not racing tonight means Jishnu gets the nod and is going to partner Baz in that Red Bull. VFX P6, Raman P7, Gosalia P8, Nishan P9, and Faizan rounds up the top 10. And then we have a total of, I want to say, maybe 18 drivers. Well, we'll wait and watch. I'm not sure. It might have been 19 or 20. So it's a healthy attendance again. And let's see how the first few laps turn out. It seems to be quite bone dry. So it should be a standard one stop unless there is a safety car. And people who are watching, let me know in the comments if you think weather is going to play any sort of role in the race tonight. Not feeling well, so might not do podium interviews. So help us with your podium predictions as well, as we wait for the drivers to load their fuel and decide what is the kind of tire they would want to start on. I expect a lot of medium runners in the beginning, but maybe someone might be brave enough to start on the hards. Maybe someone like VFix, I wouldn't put it past him to start on the hard tires and then opt for the faster and grippier medium tire in his second and final stint of the race on lighter race fuel as well. And yes, Chips is absolutely spot on. Redstone dominance could bore fans, and Chips Redstone has raced only in two races this season, one of which he won the first race, that was in Brazil, and then he has raced in one more race, which is Qatar. I don't recall him racing in that race, but apparently he did, and he did not finish the race. Uh, did not race in Abu Dhabi either. So this is his third start of the season in 6 races. He is quite a maybe he is more or less 70 points adrift of the lead or the top spot in the championship so far. The formation lap is underway. So a 70 points gap, and we have 7 races to go after this one, 8 including this race. So it's absolutely doable considering the pace Redstone has shown in the past, and I think he might just be giving himself a challenge, as a lot of conspiracy theories are going on. But here we go for the tire choice. Let's see what everyone is on. Alright, so top 11 drivers on the mediums, Shooter in P12 on the hard tire, and if Chips is still watching, what a moment that was when Chips screamed his lungs out to call out Shooter to be careful, but it was too late, and Shooter did in fact lose his front wing while following Harsh under the safety car. So Shooter is on the hards. Sonic Hawk, the only driver on the soft tires, and I think it's a 28 lap race. I don't think the softs would be good enough, or they would be competitive after maybe 3-4 laps. This is a very high tire degradation circuit, and those first and third sectors really take a lot of life out of the tires. So it will be interesting to see what Sonic Hawk does and how long can his tires last. Can he make up a few positions in the first couple of laps of the race before he ultimately has to pit? Safety cars, not a lot of safety cars you see in this race, or on this track rather, because you don't have barriers very close to the track itself, and there are large runoff areas. So it will be quite difficult for Sonic Hawk from P14, as I see a car spun in the background. That's Sid Venkatesh, and he has grass on his tires. He's last in the pecking order right now. Of course, his car will be allowed to overtake a few other competitors and line up in P16. That will be his correct starting position. But let's see how he does as well. He's in P16 right now. How many points has he scored? He scored only 1 point until Qatar. I'm not sure if he scored any points in Abu Dhabi. So it's not been a great race, or a great season rather, so far for Sid Venkatesh, and he could be someone who helps Redstone Derp. Although to suggest Redstone Derp needs any help to win races and maybe championships is itself a blasphemy. But most of the cars are lined up, and we should be getting the 5 lights on the grid very soon. So while we do that, except for Chips, if there's anyone else who would like to throw in the predictions, we already have Redstone, Abhishek and Srivat. So Chips is sticking to the qualifying order for his race predictions, as here we go. You can see on your top right 5 lights on the grid, and it is lights out, and we're underway. It's a good start from Redstone and a good start from Srivat as well. He might be challenging Abhishek into the first corner for P1, and he goes round the outside of the Mercedes. I don't think, or he has taken the position. In fact, it's a really good start from him. Behind it is the 2 Red Bulls also on the back, and there is almost contact between Baz and Jishnu as Baz settles for P5. There is contact behind, as Faizan has lost a position or 2. In fact, he was P10. Now he is settled in P19. He's lost all positions that he could have, and he's losing an end plate. Sonic Hawk has picked up 4 positions, up to P10. Let's see if he can get ahead of Shubh Kumar, because he would get Sonic Hawk. That is a good purchase out of the hairpin, but the gap he has to the car in front might just be too much. What about Baz? Is the Red Bulls going to swap right now? No is the answer. No swap for the Red Bulls just yet, and I'm not sure Jishnu is in the mood to play the team game just yet, while his and yeah, different lines taken by Baz and Jishnu through that double right-hander. But as things stands, Baz has to settle for P5. Up ahead, Redstone Dub. What a first lap he has had. It's the fighting behind that has helped him, and a good start as well. Is almost a second, and yes, now he is a second clear of Srivats. So he's already broken DRS Baz. What a brilliant first lap that is from the McLaren, and we'll stick with this battle for now, which is Baz on the back of Jishnu. Is Baz going to go for a move down the inside? No, he does not. He is patient, and behind him, Raman is also being very patient and just expecting to get through if one of these Red Bulls has a couple of bad corners. So we'll stick on board with Baz and see what kind of lines he takes. He might have just taken a warning there by cutting through the gap. And speaking of gaps, 1.4 seconds is the gap which Redstone has over Srivats. Now Abhishek did not have the best of the starts and has lost a position, but I believe if there is anyone in this top 4 or top 5 who can challenge Redstone and can match him toe to toe, it is Abhishek. So it's important for him to clear Srivats. Further behind is Sonic Hawk now going to be finally on the move. In fact, it is Abhishek. I'm so sorry to have missed that overtake, but Abhishek does go for a move and has made that stick as well. So he is up into P2. The gap is still 1.4 seconds to Redstone Dub. And let's see if now the Mercedes can catch up to Redstone Dub. And further behind this battle, by the way, Sonic Hawk did get ahead, and now he is in a battle himself. Sonic Hawk seems to have lost few positions. There is grass on his tire as well, and I'm not sure what has happened there, because he seemed to be in a good position and might have been on a position to overtake Shubh Kumar for P8, but doesn't seem to be the case, as there's a car which goes very wide. That was just Gosalia. Baz finally overtakes Jishnu into turn 1. So that is him up into P4, 7/10 adrift of Srivats. And if Baz wants a good result tonight, and that is at least a podium, I would say he needs to clear Srivats very, very quickly and then latch on to the back of Abhishek. Further behind, Sonic Hawk still losing more positions. It is not happening at all. Are those soft tires already giving up? He is now P16. Remember, he was fighting for P10, as there are two cars trying to go down the inside, and he's just don't have enough grip. As Srikanth and Azun make their way through those set of corners, Sonic Hawk in P18. What a terrible couple of laps for him, or at least a lap or so for him, as we turn attention back to Baz, who is less than 4/10 behind Srivats. And Chips, absolutely, you are welcome. If you can join me for comms, that would be much appreciated. Let me know if you are online and would like an invite, and we can make that happen, and then you can start a party chat and we can get going. I expected you to be back in Miami, which is why I didn't ask you if you were available tonight, but look at that. Abhishek on the back of Redstone Dub. He already has DRS, Abhishek. So this is what I was talking about. If there is one person who has the pace, it is this man in the Mercedes. And Chips, it is the IRL account, not the normal one. Thank you for calling IRL the abnormal one, but yes, it is the IRL account through which I am logged in right now. So do send an invite, a party invite to that one. And let's see what Baz can do here. He is not close enough, and because Srivats has DRS as well from Abhishek, it won't be easy for Baz to make that move. Further behind is Gosalia about to go for a move. He is 7/10, so I don't think he's close enough either, unless he gets a really good purchase through the... Oh, and he does not get a good purchase. Had a bit of an oversteer coming out of the corner, and let's see if he is close enough by the end of the straight, as he is close enough. So yes, Gosalia is going to go down the inside, and it's an easy move on Faizan. That's Gosalia up into p11. Faizan is not going to fight that, and Gosalia will now turn his attention to Shooter. He's up into p10, and there's healthy gap there. Let me see if I've got an invite, and I have.
Oh,
And we have Chips joining as well.
greetings everyone.
Hello, Chips. Do you
Can you
have
please
the
start your share
invite
screen?
for
Can you
the?
please start your share screen?
All right, Chips. I have sent you an invite. Let me
I will not
know.
be able to join. There's some issue with the account. I wasn't able
Oh,
to access the game
oh.
for the past
So in that case, I'll
few days
need to
apparently.
share my screen then. Wait.
Yeah, I think that would be the best course of
Yeah,
action.
and
Am
I'm
I
hearing a lot
audible?
of echo.
Yeah, my stream is on in the background.
Okay, if you can,
Yeah, I will definitely
maybe.
disable it. I started playing F1. I didn't realize you would join so quickly.
All right, so
2019,
I am
that is.
sharing my screen, Chips. I hope you can see it soon.
Joining in.
As right now we are spectating Abhishek, who is very close but not close enough to make the move stick on Redstone up. Now, Chips, you have seen these two race for a while now, and it usually is very civil between the two of them. What do you expect tonight? Is Abhishek's going to go very aggressive, or are they just managing it in the first stint and then sort it out towards the end of the race when there is actually something to fight for?
I think in most cases these two are always in party chat together, so they you tend to work very well together. I think they are free to race, but they play it very smart. They know that if they battle amongst each other, they're going to lose time. And somebody like Shrivats could be a very real threat if these two decide to trip over each other. So I don't think they will necessarily be battling right now. Although I think should the opportunity arise, Abhisheks will not hold back. As we say, yellow flag is that
That's Sid
McLaren.
Venkatesh. Yep, that is Sid
That it
Venkatesh
is.
not having a good lap, not having a good race either so far. He's down in P16. Sonic Hawk, by the way, started on and here goes, by the way, Deadly Mosquito on Smith Shah.
Other way
In
around.
fact, it is Smith Shah on Deadly Mosquito. I completely got it the other way around. But Deadly Mosquito is trying to hold it around the outside, and he has for now. There will be, of course, another DRS zone coming up. 28 lap race, Chips, a standard one stop.
I think that would be the case. Smith was a little opportunistic there, I would say, trying a very Lance Stroll-esque move into turn one, but luckily there was no contact for either of them. I would think yes, one stop for the medium runners at least. I'm not sure whether the hard runners will do a traditional one stop of hards to mediums or whether they're going to go into the softs. So that is going to be something which is going to be interesting. Although I don't think the softs is a very good tire on this game in general, not just at a particular track. So I don't
Okay, there
expect
are
people
few
to.
position changes behind. Smith seems to have finally gotten ahead of Deadly Mosquito. Is up into P13, but a full 4 seconds behind the next car. Now again back to this battle. 4 tenths is the gap, and they haven't really pulled away from Srivats. While Srivats, of course, does not have DRS, but at the same time, Baz has been in DRS for
Do
Srivats
you
for a
think
while.
Redstone is helping out Abhishek in a way?
Yeah, it
Like
could be.
the gap was about 1 second, now it's 1.5 to Shrivats between Shrivats and Abhishek. So maybe Redstone is helping Abhishek by giving him the DRS. That is the trade-off for Abhishek not being able to attack him outright.
Yeah, it could be. And
Probably,
remember, Abhishek is in a championship fight as well. So maybe
indeed.
that's something on the mind for both of them. Uh, Obviously, I would be foolish to count out Redstone in the championship fight as well. So I don't know how that's gonna play out. Baz once again. So I think Baz might be running lower downforce than Srivats because he's close when he approaches turn one, but then through the whole first sector where you need a lot of downforce and you need that grip in those high speed corners, he's losing quite a bit of time, which means he can't really put any sort of challenge on the Kicksauber in the braking zone.
Indeed, and although I think in all this, Okay, so this is a battle going on between, I think this is Nubshan or is it
This is
Shooter?
Gosalia and Shooter.
Shooter, alright.
Gosalia, and
I've been,
there's
oh,
bit
there's
of contact.
contact!
Yeah, there is contact,
It's Ravi is
and
already missing an end plate, and I think this would be Faizan. Is it? No, Faizan is the Alpine. Oh, that's Yash going for a dive there, trying the aggressive line, but I think Shooter with a nice switchback. They're still battling it out. This will be absolutely great news for the Sauber driver here
yeah, I
because
think
these two battling will help him catch up. Although I think, oh, Faizan with a penalty. I think that is Faizan and never mind. Sorry, I'm mixing up names here. Sorry,
just in the pits, and he's gone for the hard tires. So we
just move
missed
on to
that pit
the
stop in all
cards.
this conundrum, but
Yep,
that is an early pit stop, Chips. If you want to go one
he's gone.
stopper,
He was on the mediums, right?
yeah, he was on the medium. So 7 laps
8 on
on
the
mediums.
mediums, 20 on the hard. I think that is a strategy usually taken up by the Italians, not by the Englishmen in Red Bull.
Uh,
So I'm a little surprised as to why Jishnu has gone for a pit stop so early, unless he wants to go for a two stop.
yeah,
Maybe we
that
are misunderstanding or changing the lead. Abhishek gets ahead of Redstone at long last. Is this tactical or is this on pace? I think there
knowing the
is
two
a
of
hint of
them,
both.
yeah,
I think there's a
knowing
hint.
the two of them, it could very well be tactical. Where Redstone might have been using his battery in the last few laps just to pull Abhishek along, and now it is the turn of the Mercedes to repay the favor. But in all that, yes, that's what I'm saying. Chips, they haven't really pulled away from Sivas. The gap is still less than 1.5 seconds. So I think kudos to Srivas as well. Without DRS, he has been able to keep up with this pair.
Oh, he's pitted.
Srivas in the pits. These are
Has
early
he
pit
decided to
stops.
bolt after seeing Jishnu's pit stop?
It could be, or it could be just a ploy to try and undercut on the race leaders.
Isn't it too early, though, Mala?
It is,
It's
which is
understandable.
why,
Lap 11, lap 12, lap 9.
yeah, it is quite early.
I
And let's see where he comes out with respect
probably ahead of
to
that
Jishnu.
battling trio. Hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully
he's
for him,
well,
he has come
he's
out well
well
ahead of
ahead,
that.
and he has a bit of clean air as well to the next car. 2 seconds, and then of course he might hit some traffic there because Shooter is. In fact, sorry, I'm so sorry. I was
Yeah, 6 seconds.
spectating the
Yeah,
wrong car, but yeah, 5.5 seconds to the next car, and I think by the time he catches up, Nishan might be thinking of pitting as well.
that
So the top
might
two.
have
Now
been
let's
it.
see what they do, Chips, because Srivats might have forced some interaction. Here goes Redstone up, and he's going to retake the lead from Abhishek. This could be a race to the pits if a lot of drivers are going for the two stop here.
You think a two-stop is viable?
I don't think so. But then if I see people pitting on lap 7, lap 8, then maybe that's what makes sense. We'll wait and watch for what Baz does as well, because Baz was in a battle
We
with
might see Abhi
Srivats.
pit this lap. I think Redstone may stay out for another. And is that going to be the case? It is going to be the
Both
case.
pit.
All right. Oh,
And
they
Baz
both
pits
pit.
as well.
I thought Redstone
And
decided to stay out.
Raman stays out.
Will stay out. He goes for something a little unorthodox compared to the others, more often than not. We have Worski. Oh, is that a little moment for Worski coming into the last corner? So, top three as they were have pitted Redstone, Abhi, and Baz. Now, where will they come out in regards to Shrivats as Shooter has got a penalty? I will not say that name. That name is very, very weird. Shooter, please change it back. It is imperative that you do so. As here we see Srivats very, very close to Abhi. This could be very feisty down the back straight because his Abhi's tires are obviously not up to temperature yet, and Srivats has his tires completely in the. I would assume in the proper temperature window, given that he's done about a lap on that. So through the SS section, we might see Abhi struggle here a little bit because of the lack of temperature, fresh tires. Redstone, however, on the other hand, I think has bolted away. He is 1.8 ahead of Abhi already. And this is going to be very important because now Srivats has DRS and Abhi does not. Abhi will
Yeah,
have to use up a lot of battery to defend here, which I think is going to be very interesting. I think, but Srivats has the move done. Rather obvious. Look at that closing speed by the Sauber, and Srivats is ahead of the Mercedes and up into net P2.
yeah, net P2 for him. I don't really understand how Redstone pulled a gap of 1+ seconds in the pits, because in the pits I would expect both of them to lose equal amount of time. I
He
don't
is
really.
Redstone. That's all.
Yeah, it's
I think
just.
that's all we need to
Yeah.
think about.
On the back of Nishan now. Now, when is Nishan going to pit?
I'm assuming they're gonna put this lap. Oh, Sidvi and Nishan both have got a penalty in quick succession. Worski has pitted. Raman stays out, and Nishan is going to hinder Redstone nearby staying out.
Well, he's going to hinder as much.
Unintentionally.
Yeah, as much
Unintentionally.
as
That
UK
is.
did to Lando in the
Oh, yeah.
season finale. I mean, that's not
Yep.
really a hindrance. It's just a minor obstacle which Redstone has cleared with tremendous ease. Raman stays out for one more lap. Is he? I mean, it seems like everyone else is on a two-stop and he's on a one-stop. That's the only possible explanation I have right now.
All
Srivas.
these people have enough faith in their tires to take these hard tires for another 21 laps or so.
That's a tall order, though, Chips. I don't expect Hearts to go 20 laps. It might be just better to split those 20 laps into maybe, I don't know, 13 plus 7 if you're going for mediums, because softs might be absolutely rubbish after 3 laps or 4 laps unless there's a safety car. But here goes Srivas. Raman, I don't know what he's up to, but then here we go. There should be a double overtake in the sense that
Abhi
two
might go for a
cars.
double move, will he? Abhi is very close, but I think he's just going to settle in
Yeah.
to a rhythm for now.
But
And
crucially for Abhishek, both of them have cleared Nishan. If Abhishek was stuck behind Nishan, he might have lost DRS to Srivats. So that was very important for Abhishek to get ahead. And now it is important for Baz. He's caught Nishan at the wrong time. And Nishan,
it's
being the
like
church of Perez, look at the time he's causing. I'm sorry, look at the time he's costing Baz. Baz finally through, but oh my
always a
god.
plus.
2 seconds plus. Of course, he did
That
lose all
is
that time battling Nishan, but at least a second, if not more, is the cost of clearing that notorious Ferrari, who now decides to pit while Raman stays out for one more lap.
I think Raman is trying to make the one stop work regardless. These guys may be on for a two stop, maybe a one stop, depending on what their tires are. But I think Raman
Yeah.
is committing to the one stop. If he does, it completes this lap, he'll have to do what, including lap 13, it'll be 16 laps on the hards, which is, I think, doable.
Yeah,
for him.
should be doable. That would have been a theoretical one-stopper. What I was thinking of. Smith ahead of Shooter. So Smith has made that position. Shubh Kumar, by the way, is on the softs in the middle part of the race. Again, not something that you expect. Let's turn attention back, Chips, to this battle between Abhishek and Srivats. Abhishek is not close enough to make a move on this particular instance, but now that the cars are separated a little bit, maybe Abhishek will find it easy to get ahead of Srivats. But again, look at the gap. Srivas 1.6 seconds to Redstone. So Srivas showing really good pace tonight without DRS, while he has a bit of an oversteer there at the exit of the left-hander. But I am quite impressed by Srivas' pace tonight.
Yeah, on the contrary from what you said, I think Shrivats is actually going to have some great pace right now here, and it's going to be very difficult, I think, for Abhi to get past. Even with before they made their pit stop, Shrivats was able to keep up with Abhi and with Redstone, despite not having DRS for a long time, as we have Raman in the pit lane. So I think that is the top three in the most ideal scenario, unless something very ridiculous happens here, and that is known to happen in around COTA. So
Yeah, but Raman is going to come out in quite a bit of traffic.
Raman needs to avoid traffic, and he, I think, has timed it to almost to perfection. He's come out like a few meters, a handful of meters ahead of Smith. So, provided he can keep his track position, this is going to bode very well for him. Smith obviously has to make his pit stop, so that is going to be something to look out for in a few corners' time. Abhi gets a little snap, but he is still going to be able to make the move with. Really, there is no problem for him there, as we have our first retiree, is it? First retiree,
Yeah.
second retiree? First retiree in the form of Yash Gosalia, who's retired in the pits. I think, I've not followed the race too much, but I think he's had a bit of a dismal race if he's decided to call it quits so early. So, unfortunate for him.
Yeah, not even 50% of the race and is retired. So maybe damage to the underbody or. Oh, there is.
Oh,
Speaking
some
of
other
damage,
Alpine.
uh,
I don't think that was damage. That was just the weird effect that the game does when two cars are very close to one another or a car is over the
yeah,
curb. There's
because I
some weird
didn't.
debris that flies up.
Yeah, I didn't understand that debris. It was black bits flying all around. For a
It's
second, I thought,
Codemasters. That's all.
yeah, for a
You'll
second, I
need to
thought it
understand
was
a lot more.
bits of carbon fiber. But Shooter, by the way, is still going. Is he going
He
to
has a
pit
broken
this
end
lap?
plate.
Yeah, he has a broken
He's
end
on
plate.
hard tires. I think he'll stay out. He has to stay out at this point. It's his only hope. He has to hope for a safety car or something of the sort that will effectively bail him out. He has a broken end plate. Somebody in the pits that should come out 4 laps on the softs. That has to be a very forgettable stint for him. I don't know why he's opted for that in the middle part.
Maybe it was a mistake. I mean,
Damage? Mistake as in?
mistake
He
as in
slid into
maybe
the pits.
yeah, maybe selected the wrong tire for
Oh,
his
in
pits.
that way. Oh, I thought
Yeah.
he accidentally drove into the pits. I thought that's what he said. That was not the
I mean, I
case,
hope
but
not. I hope no one did a Hamilton to the Checo in Turkey where he was pushed into the pits. Or when I did that to VFX way back in season 2, I think, in Monza. But I hope that's not the case. Now, Srivats is keeping tabs on Abhishek, but in all that, look at the gap Redstone has almost 2 seconds ahead
seconds.
of the pair battling for P2.
I think these two will somebody further back battling it out. Is that Swarovski and Smith? So Raman has got enough of a gap. Swarovski sliding around, but he will know that these guys are not really a threat to his race right now because these guys are yet to make their pit stops, and they will emerge some 20 odd seconds behind him. So I think
Yeah,
for
so
now the top. No, Vifix is yet to pit.
yeah,
So
Vifis is yet to pit, and Raman will catch him very quickly. So it should be an easy overtake for Raman unless VFX decides to pit before the Aston Martin catches him. Uh, let's turn our attention back to this
Shrikant
battle.
and Faizan very close. They were all separated by nothing almost, and they are battling outside the points, but that doesn't make the intensity of the battles any less interesting. They are still going at it tooth and nail, and it is good to see the McLaren is going a little wider as Sid V.
Yeah, that's it.
Obviously, Redstone
Vegetation
in the
not
lead.
having the best of the race. Is Azun going to go for a move? No, he's
Probably
not.
he is close enough, but I think he will be sensible about it and he's going to hang back for now. These two ahead, Faizan and Shrikant having a little uh, interesting battle of their own, but I think it will subside for now, at least until the back straight. So Srivat's close to Abhi, but it just doesn't seem like there's a whole lot happening in terms of overtakes right now for
Yeah, it
anyone.
seems to not be close enough. And Abhishek seems to have the measure of him as things stand. So Raman now 1.9 seconds behind VFX. Who? What does Raman do here? Oh, there's a battle going on between Shooter and Deadly Mosquito.
And Nishan is going to join the
And
fray.
yeah,
Nishan is pitted, so I think his teammate will be wanting to help him out in whatever way he can. I would assume the Ferraris will be looking to help each other out in some manner. This is Deadly Mosquito taking the outside line, Nishan taking the inside line, and he almost does what Verstappen did in 2017. But thankfully, I think he's kept it within track limits. And Shooter, you can see ahead, he is struggling to get the car turned at the rate which he wants to, and he shot runs with the back of the Mercedes. Obviously, the Mercedes is not pitted, so he is going to be slower, but this is proving to be a very big hindrance for Nishan's race. He gets ahead, and I think he will now be able to stay ahead of the Mercedes, although I think that has cost him any chance of being able to catch up to Worski. I think that's his race. It is Faizan and Azun. So Shrikant has fallen down some positions. Azun has gained a few positions. He was behind Sid, now he's ahead of Sid and Shrikant.
yeah, and Azun. Oh, there's a yellow
Yellow.
flag. There's a Red Bull.
Red Bull, is that
Oh, that's
Smith?
decarb of Smith.
Smith has spun at the shooter corner, just before the shooter corner, I should say. The
Do you have any
infamous
damage?
shooter corner. I think he does.
Yeah,
He's missing a
yeah,
left hand plate.
yep. Here goes
And
Nishan, by the way. Sorry, here goes Shooter, by the way, on the back of Nishan.
I don't think he will. I don't think he will. I think they swapped, and now Nishan will be allowed to stay ahead by Shooter. So I'm not sure. I don't even remember who Smith was battling with. I think there's Worski, maybe? He emerged behind Raman. So after Raman made his pit stop, Smith I'm talking about. So I think Smith either had some contact with Worski or maybe with these guys, or maybe he just spun on his own.
Yeah,
Either ways, he is now missing an end plate and he's having a pretty
yeah. And speaking of
forgettable
Worsley,
race.
he picks up a 3-second time penalty.
I think we
And
should have a
speaking
look at
of
the penalties.
yeah, and
There's a
speaking
lot
of
of people who picked up penalties. As so, all these guys in the lower half of the table, in the top 10, sorry, lower half of the top 10. So we have Worski, Nishan, and oh, somebody has swapped positions. That's Mosquito and Dark Knight Shooter. Where I think Shooter's pitted, has he? Shooter's in the pits. He has to be, yeah. He has to be in the pits. Shrikant
quite
gets
a
a
few people,
penalty.
4 people in the pits as well. Srikanth gets a speeding in the pit lane penalty, and
Smith is pitted as well, so
yeah,
Smith wanting to rectify his wrong, going on to a set of medium tires and trying to hope for a safety car. So I don't recall following the last two races much. Have we seen any safety cars this season?
uh, I'll answer that once I get through this overtake as Raman gets ahead, and I think VFix was giving him a wide berth by letting the Aston Martin through. So Raman up into P6 now, and is a little bit out of sync versus the rest of the runners. Safety cars, I I don't think there was any in Abu Dhabi, and there might not
Qatar?
have been in Qatar as well. Yeah, probably no safety cars in the last two races. You don't expect one in Qatar because, again, similar to this track, very large runoff areas, and it's difficult to actually damage your car unless you are in a battle with another car. So
That
no,
is true.
I don't think there was any safety car, but I could be wrong here. As Srivas obliterates that corner, I'm
Yeah.
sure he got a warning there. Maybe one and a half
That one is
warnings.
certain, and I forgot to mention it at the time. Shivats on his out lap, out of the pits onto these hard tires, he also had a similar moment at that very corner. So I think he is very close to a penalty at this point. He needs to be careful about how he places his car
Yeah,
because
and
Baz is
that
within 2 seconds.
yeah with Baz, so Baz could be still on for a podium here. And the more
Indeed.
Srivats and Abhishek's battle, well, they're not exactly battling, but it seems like Srivats might be losing some time behind Abhishek's, or might be getting pulled along in clean
Probably. I
air.
think Srivats is.
So, uh, but yeah, it's Redstone who's the one to beat tonight. I think he's just managing his pace. 2 seconds is a gap. I think he's quite comfortable where he is, and does not need to take any risks so far. And
Oh, that's a
oh,
big moment for
was that
Abhishek.
Abhishek's? Yeah,
Yep, it was. Abhishek with a moment, although Srivats was a little too far behind to capitalize on it as we go towards turn 1, up the hill, braking, and anti-clockwise turn 1 will not see Srivats make a move on Abhishek. On this lap,
Vifix in the
Vifix into the
pits.
pit lane. So he knew that Raman was not his race, that's why he let Raman go with ease. Although I'm very keen to see where he will come out. He might come out, I want to say around where Faizan is right now.
Yep.
Probably not
He
behind
might be
Faizan.
ahead. He might be ahead of
He
Faizan.
actually might be ahead of Faizan, so
Yeah, he will be. So he'll
let's
come
not
out in
as long a pit
P9
lane. Oh,
and
that's a long pit lane. Never mind. My
on the
mistake.
medium. So Vifix might be on, of course, to score good points tonight, considering Vorsky and Nishan both have time penalties.
Considering his bad
So
luck over this season, I think he'll be quite happy to have
yeah, Srivas
some
very close,
good
and he
points.
is ahead of Abhishek's.
There's a little bit of contact is there because Abhishek wants to go for a switchback here, which he was not able to do. But he still has a few more corners to navigate, wherein he'll be very close to the subway. Will he go for the dive, similar to what Carlos Sainz did in the, I want to say, main race? Yeah, not the sprint race. No, he will not. And Shivats is back into P2. Abhishek is down to P3.
Yeah, so Srivat's finally ahead of Abhishek, but it has cost both of them time with respect to Baz as well as Redstone Derp. Now Baz is tantalizingly close, Chips, to the DRS, and if he gets himself in the DRS window of Abhishek's, this would be very very interesting. It would be a three-way fight for P2.
I think in the grand scheme of things, we didn't realize it at the time, but we would have had a three-car battle right now had Nishan not held up Baz at that point.
Yeah, but I think they are
So
close to getting that. I think one more lap of this
naturally, yeah, we are
battling.
getting close to that naturally.
Yeah.
So in any case, I think Abhishek's also very close to track limits there.
Yeah, and let's keep
Coming
an eye
up
out on VFX's
straight, yeah.
gap. It's 4.5 seconds right now to Nishan. So let's see how that
Hmm.
progresses over the next
Ramen
couple of
penalty,
laps
show
as
penalty.
Raman gets a penalty. That
He
was
has enough
so
of a
now
gap.
can VFX can get P6 here maybe if he plays his card right because he is going to have theoretically faster tires until the end of the race. Although mediums will feel a bit second hand as Abhishek goes for a move and he does make that stick. So he retakes P2 from Srivats. Now, did it help Baz? Not really in terms of
A
time.
little bit, 2 or 3 tenths, but it's
Oh
not
yeah, that
very,
is
very
close.
beneficial.
1.1 seconds now. So it's just that these
Oh,
moves are
he's
getting completed chips in the braking zone and not before the braking zone, which means they kind of have to go offline when they are taking the left hander, which means Baz is now in DRS.
He is, and I think this is gonna be the start of something very, very interesting. As with a little drift out of the last corner as we start lap 21 for the top four.
Yeah,
Redstone
and
has a comfortable lead. What about Vifix and Nishan? Nishan
yeah,
is
2 seconds since we last spoke. It was 4.5 seconds the gap between Vix and Nishan.
Vifix
It's
is
two less than 2.5
obliterating the
seconds now.
gap right now.
Yeah, so
So
probably DRS by this time next lap.
I think P6 is a little opportunistic, but I think he definitely has P7 uh, in his sights. P6 will be the best gift he would want at this point. He has the fastest lap Vifix as this is Baz
Yeah,
having a
just
little
as I
trouble, I
went
think,
on
keeping
board
the
with
car
him, he
under
did have a
control.
moment,
Yeah,
and well, as
Vishnu with the
Jishnu gets
penalty.
so everyone ahead of VFX is getting time penalties at this rate. Of course, the gap is just too much for VFX to catch. Uh, but if there's a safety car, if there's a late safety car here, VFX is in the money for a good haul of points tonight.
I think if there's a safety car, Vifix will not pit, but probably everyone ahead of him will consider
Yeah, but
going
they'll
on to
still
the
carry those
mediums or
time
the.
penalties. Those they
They
cannot
will.
serve under a safety car. So VFX will be excited if there is a safety car.
1.4 for Vifix. This is going to get very close. We will follow this battle as well, but I think there is an overtake incoming by Vifix. And once that is done, there's a 8 second gap to cover to Worski.
So I think the most efficient way to get past will be on the start finish straight for VFX. In fact, let's go on board with him to see how he manages the third sector. And I think Noob Shan, even if he wants to, might not be able to make that very difficult for
Indeed, he's
VFX.
on 10 lap old hard tires, Vifix on fresh mediums. I don't think it's going to be much of a competition once Vifix manages to catch up, although
He hasn't really
I think
caught
the
up, by the way.
dirty air, I think the dirty air is really causing him some issues,
Yeah,
and
so
maybe he's
maybe
just not.
he'll have to wait until the back straight to get this move done, and
Are they
maybe
going to swap here into turn one? Nope. Nishan will not let Vifix by that easily. I think it's going to be on the back straight, as you said. Up front, the battle for P2 is still as it was. Actually, there's nothing to say here. Baz looks to find a way past the Sauber, but cannot seem to do so. And although, as I say that, I think Shivas had a slightly bad exit, and
yeah, he
that
did, and
could
Baz was quite close, but I think the nature of
no
the track
nothing
is
doing
such
there. Yeah,
that unless you make a couple of horrible mistakes, you are not going to lose positions. As look at Toofstan getting his weaving out of the way, and that would be a 5 second penalty, by the way, if I were looking at it. VFX is clean through, and up
And
into P8. He is 8 seconds adrift of Worski in P7 with 5 laps to go after this one. Yellow flag
we have
for
a
Aston
yellow
Martin. Is that
for,
Srikanth?
might be.
That was
He
Srikanth.
is
He is up and
still,
running now.
he is struggling to get that car under control. I think that is Srikanth. So running in 16th, not the most memorable race for Srikanth, and he has just had a bit of a spin as well. Although having said that, he had a spin and he's still about 5 seconds out of Sid, and the guys at the back are really having a race to forget. Azun, Srikanth, Sid, Sonic Hawk. And if I'm not wrong, I think you said Sonic Hawk had a good start on softs and then he fell back or
Yep,
something. He
he
had
had.
damage or something.
I don't know if he had damage. Maybe he just lost his car. But then he had 2 good laps on the softs and then he completely fell off the grid. And I didn't see any major incident involving him and other drivers. So, not sure what happened there. And he had to kind of move out of the way and drive on the grass to just avoid getting in an incident.
Oh, that is drastic measures that need to be undertaken. I think that is definitely some issue for him.
Yeah, so maybe he had damage which was not apparent to
I would
me.
assume that is the most logical course of action. As Shooter gets another penalty. Where is Shooter? Shooter's 13th right now.
P13. So Smith
Unlucky
will get
13th
that
right now.
position.
Smith, I think Shooter already had a 3 second and he just added one to that right now. So not going particularly well, and he's on 9 seconds. He's gonna fall behind the zone at this
So
point.
that's a lot of penalties within 24 laps.
Srikanth has 13. 10 of
Yeah,
those
that-
are for speeding in the pit lane,
Yeah.
and one is a track limit penalty. But a lot of people with penalties. Shubh Kumar and Faizan have traded places, and they're still battling. The battle's not over yet. Sauber versus Williams. Sauber will try to fight it best he can, but he is on much older tires than Williams, and I think Shubh will be able to solidify P10, and provided he can pull a gap, he can then solidify P10. Mosquito is about 10 seconds adrift behind Faizan, so it won't really be of much consequence here. As in the meantime, who is this? The battle between Srikanth and Sid. Sid is now ahead of Srikanth, so Srikanth on those tires that he just had to spin at, he will not be having a very nice time keeping that car under control, although he is going to battle it out with Sid, which is going to end with the McLaren.
I half expected Srikanth to just
drive
drive down the inside.
Send it
and-
down the inside, yeah. Carlos Sainz style.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Vifix has gained about 3 seconds on Worski.
Let's have a look at penalties again. So 3 seconds for
almost
all three
certain-
drivers ahead of VFX.
I'm almost certain that Vifix, unless something exceptional happens to the guys ahead of him, he will be in P7 by the end of the race. P6 will be a
Yeah,
tall
P6
mountain because
will-
it's just too far away.
Yeah,
I don't
P6
think
will
Vifix
require
has
Raman
that
to
kind
make
of
some kind of
pace right now.
mistake, or
Yeah.
P6 will require Raman to get another 3 second, which I think he doesn't. I don't think he needs to take any risk, and he can just lock in this P6 for now, Raman. So let's see. But this battle has been a bit of a stalemate, Chips. The battle for P2 here. Baz doesn't seem to be making any sort of impression on
The
Srivas.
problem here is that they all have very similar type of pace.
Oh, yellow
Which is
flag.
the issue here, yellow flag, but
Is that Smith again?
I think Sonic Hawk. Sonic Hawk.
No, that is Smith again.
No, that is Sonic Hawk. It was ahead of
my bad. Yeah,
Redstone's
that
car.
is Sonic Hawk.
Yeah,
And
he's
he's
missing an
missing an
end
end. Yeah. So
So
he's about to get lapped.
unfortunate
Sonic
for
Hawk.
the RB, and that is going to be something to look out for. Or will it? I don't. Redstone. It doesn't matter. Redstone has enough of a gap behind him. So provided he
This
catches up
is
to.
the last lap, right, Chips? Where we can get a safety car, or
Yes.
are we already past that point?
The thing is, we could, but even if there was some incident right now, it would probably be a VSC because the field is too spread out for it to be bunched up in any capacity. I mean, I don't think that's ever stopped the game before. I remember in F1 22 and 23 getting some very late race safety cars that stay out for what, 1 lap. So that is
Which is a
possibility,
formality.
but we are running out of time for the safety car. So I think it's going to be yet another race without a safety car. The stewards will be rather happy with that, but in terms of racing action, it is not something very enjoyable. A Ferrari has spun. That might be Shooter. Shooter's car is static in terms. No, that is
in fact, it
Nishan.
was Nishan. And
Oh,
Sonic
Sonic Hawk
Hawk
is
has
retired in the
retired in
pit
the.
lane. Nishan has had a bit of a moment, I think, exiting that left-hander, and he's now given up the place to Shubh Kumar, who
Might lose another
is
one to Faizan.
he might, and I think he is going to battle it out with Faizan, but I think the Sauber will get ahead, and Nishan, without an end plate, has fallen to P11, and
And look how much
Faizan,
is
I think, will be
costing him.
happy.
I think now he's just coasting.
Posting maybe wants to just get the car to the pits, end his race without any more issues. Baz is very close to losing DRS at this point. I wouldn't have expected to say that, but following another driver for what 10, 12 laps will do that to your tires. You will just not have that kind of grip or that kind of
Does
purchase
that happen in
beyond
the
that.
race? Does it happen in the game as well, where your tires lose performance if you follow a car for too long?
I think that is one of the new features they've implemented for this year, is it not? Where if you follow a car for maybe what 4, 5, 6 continuously keep following a car, then it's going to result in a loss of performance for your car. Basically, it will overheat your tires. So I think
Yeah.
they've managed to implement it better in this game than they have in the previous games.
Yeah, I am impressed, EA, if they have actually
So
managed to do
well
that.
done, well done for
Baz
that.
has effectively moved out
Baz
of
will, I think, cut
this.
his losses. There's no point pushing and unnecessarily getting a penalty, which will just be otherwise a stain on what has been a pretty reasonable race. He will still have the championship lead, if I'm not wrong. Abhishek is a little too far behind and not kept up with the championship order, honestly.
Yeah, but
So,
yeah, that should be the case. And if Caesar is watching this, please update the points table. We haven't had an update since Qatar, so, but Baz of
oh, we
course won.
haven't. Yeah, that's why I haven't had a chance to look at it. Baz 2 seconds
Right.
behind. I think he has decided to
By the way,
just bring the
both
car
these
home.
drivers, which is Srivats and Abhishek, are catching up to Redstone. They've caught up by more than a second in the
Is
last couple of
Redstone
laps. I
trying to
think
give Abhishek some
Redstone,
DRS?
yeah, either
Because
that or he's
Abhishek
just.
has been struggling to keep Shivats behind over the past few laps. The gaps seem to be stable, but I think Shivats has had a chance to charge up some battery in the meantime. So that will be interesting if it is the case wherein Abhishek has not been able to manage his battery as well as Shrivats has. Baz harvesting some battery through the braking zone there, and Redstone is really, the gap has really come down. It's now 1.8. It was
Yeah, I think
3.8 if I'm not wrong at one point.
Abhishek is just doing Lyco now. But I'm not sure. I think it's just Abhishek's chilling. I'm sorry, it's just Redstone chilling up front.
He is chilling. He
Probably,
knows that he has the race in the bag, so he doesn't want to take any chances there. And I think we may see Abhishek get some nice DRS from the back straight. The fact that they're having to do so much to keep Shrivas behind, I think, will speak volumes about the kind of pressure Shrivas is putting them under.
yeah, absolutely.
Especially
I
Abhishek right
am
now.
very
Shrivas
impressed
has
by
driven a
Srivas's play.
fantastic race today. I think
Yeah.
he can be very proud of it, even if it will be a P3 at the end of it all. He will still be, he should still be very proud of that.
We
1.4,
are on the
Abhishek
last
and
lap of the
Redstone.
race, Chips.
It is the last lap, and this is the last chance for Shrivas to get past. Will Redstone be able to give Abhishek some very, very helpful DRS? Baz is out of the equation here.
Oh,
And
look at he's just. It is Sid Venkatesh who has slowed down. Not sure why or how, but Abhishek's very close to getting DRS from Redstone. I think he will
It's
get
not
it.
close enough though, Malav, is it? I think it is. I think it is. Redstone really lifted off there, and this is going to be giving some very important DRS to Abhishek, who's had a moment, and he has pinned it,
Oh
and
my
there you
God! Baz
go.
gets a podium out of that.
Will he though?
Yeah, he
will
will.
have
Look
to
at the
get
momentum.
past. There will be no DRS for Baz. Abhishek has DRS. Which one of them will be able to succeed here? Shrivats into P2, and Abhishek will apparently hang on to P3 for now. Baz can see, I think, his closest rival in the championship just ahead of him, Mercedes and Red
How
Bull once
has
again.
Abhishek's avoided
It's just
damage?
his luck. It's just his
He
luck
completely
that
lost the
something
car
like
out
this
of that
happens to
corner.
him.
And
Yep.
Srivats would be so happy right now.
He'll be
And
over the moon right now, overjoyed, and he just won't be able to believe what he's just seen in front of his screen right now.
You know-
Redstone will take the race win, but what chaos at the end there! Redstone wins the race from Shrivats, And Abhishek, despite that very scary moment, will hold on to P3 ahead of Baz in P4. Wow.
I was not planning on doing podium interviews tonight, Chips, but now we can't avoid doing that. I definitely want to talk to Srivats and Abhishek, both of them, as Baz misses out on a podium by half a second. VFX will get his P7, and as we discussed, P6 was a bit too much to ask for, but a good race nonetheless from VFX. Shubh Kumar, by the way, gets P9. Faizan started in P10, will finish in P10 unless he has more than 3 seconds of time penalty, which he does. So it's Azun who will just about sneak in a point after 28 laps of racing.
Indeed. Brahman with a good race as well. It's been a bit of an anonymous race, but I think we have to uh, give him some.
Yeah,
Rather
Raman
applaud him for
tried to do
that.
something different.
Good points. Azul in the points.
Yeah, Azun
After
in the points.
Faizan's penalties, many penalties I think he had. And there you go, a very entertaining final lap. And
Yeah.
there you go.
Probably
Redstone
the
wins.
most exciting part of the race after the race start was the final lap. But yes, it is Redstone as expected taking the race win, and I think you got your prediction right, except for the fact that it is
Abhishek's in
Srivats,
P3, yeah.
yeah, and Abhishek changing positions, and all of that was very avoidable until Abhishek decided to floor it at the exit of that hairpin. Tips you can, if you can quickly get our podium getters into the party chat, and
I
we'll have
shall
a
do
quick
so, and
word with them before
thank you
we.
to all of them for being PlayStation players, by the way.
Yes, I saw that as well. I mean, I think Jishnu as well is fine. You can send an invite on his.
Jishnu, it's not Jishnu. It's Srivats.
No, no, I meant even if Jishnu got a podium, it would have been
Ah,
okay.
right.
But any
Yeah.
other PC player, it's something which we don't have an
Yeah,
answer
that
to.
is suggested, I think, for them to maybe.
Not get
I
a
think you
podium.
had suggested it in the
Yeah, I
chat
would
on
suggest
Discord there
them
to
to not get a
suggest them
podium.
to, yeah, like maybe retire just before. Is it Srivats 5 or 55? Can you
Yeah,
just confirm that? Because
it's Srivatsa 55, Abhishek
what's
and
up
Redstone.
55?
Do you want me
Then
to invite anyone?
I think you need to invite Srivats. I can't find him there
Oh,
on the.
then I don't think I'll be
Uh,
able to either. Let me see. All
Srivatsa.
right. Uh,
You can go through the order. I think you can invite him in a moment's time. So
okay, I'm already in the process of getting him in. All
you have
right,
10
I've sent him an
seconds.
invite.
Yeah.
But there you go. It is Redstone, Srivats, Abhishek on the podium, followed by Baz and Jishnu, the two Red Bulls. Draman gaining a few positions, in fact, one position. VFX losing a position, followed by Vorsky, Shubkumar, and Azun getting the solitary point. It is VFX, as expected, getting the fastest lap of the race, considering he did the alternate strategy from hards to mediums. But in the end, Redstone winning by 1.3 seconds, and a bit of a drama, but we did get the podium that was expected at the start of the race after qualifying.
Indeed, and we do not seem to have anybody joining in right now. Usually, people are very quick to join, and the game will force you to choose a driver and a team. I'm very keen to see what you choose. But yeah, interesting race. And before I forget to ask, there is some talk going on about Miami being some sort of an issue for.
Yeah, apparently the track is bugged. I have no idea how, or like I don't know the extent of that problem, but I guess we will find out in about a week's time if the track is going to be
Maybe it's a mystery
replaced.
race, which is going to be a different race. Maybe you can just do the podium interviews with these cars, because it's going to take you through a long cutscene here.
Yeah,
If you choose your car,
yeah, I'm always stuck here, and I don't want to go ahead of this because I know it's going to take me a lot of time. But who has? I think Abhishek has joined,
Abhi
right?
has joined and he is.
Yeah, I'm here again.
All right.
Hello, hello,
So,
Abhi.
Abhi, how are you? And how much are you disappointed by losing that P2 at the end of that 28 lap race? What a great battle it was with Srivats, and to some extent in the first sprint with, I think, Baz as well.
That's right.
Yeah, hi guys. Congrats to the other two. Yeah, disappointed, but yeah, at least still on the podium again. So it was quite a difficult race. I think difficult to follow. Only one place you can really pass, and yeah, I think Baz and Srivats also drove really well. Redstone was too quick for us, but yeah, it was still a good race. A lot of constantly under pressure from Srivats and Baz. So yeah, it was still quite fun race. Shame that ended the way it did, but it's okay.
I mean, Abhishek, you can just blame dirty ass which Baz, which Redstone was giving you at the exit of that corner, and that's why you
Yeah, I
spun.
mean that was just yeah. I didn't expect it because we were not on party together. He had issues with the
Oh,
audio, so it took me off guard. And yeah, I ran wide on the entry because I got too close, and yeah, threw me off a little bit. But it's okay.
right. Still, but a podium for you, Abhishek, and that of course will help you in the championship, as you will gain few points over Baz, if not a lot. Uh, Chips, any questions for Abhishek before we move on?
Well, nothing really. I think he's said answered the question I was going to ask him. Nonetheless, I think the question we all were going to ask him is that he was not in cahoots with Redstone today in regards to party chat. So that is an unfortunate end to your race, Abhi. But still, I think you can be happy with the pace you showed today. And Miami or wherever we do end up racing next week will be also a good chance for you to gain some points on Baz.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yep.
Well done.
Chips, I don't think I see either
Yeah,
Redstone
nobody
or
else has
Srivats.
joined in, so
So,
I think they just want to dislike us a little today.
right. So
I'm certain
I
I sent them an invite.
think
Yeah,
that's about it for the podium interviews. Congratulations, although to Redstone and Srivats, both of them, wonderful race. Redstone, of
absolutely.
course, was in his dominant fashion, taking the checkered flag, and Srivats has impressed us throughout the season with his pace, and tonight was no different. But thank you, Chips, for joining me in the comms. That was really helpful. Otherwise, it would have been more difficult to cover the race that was COTA. We'll see you next week in Miami or a different track. Who knows? It is possible that we might
Special conditions?
have a special condition and change the race altogether. But I think either ways, we will see you next week with some racing action. Until then, take care of yourselves, enjoy, and good night.
Good.